Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Fluent Path English. I'm James.
And I'm Emily. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, James, have you ever had a serious conversation about relationships?
Oh, yeah. Those talks can be pretty intense. Sometimes they don't go the way you expect.
Exactly. And today's dialogue is about a deep and emotional conversation between a couple.
That's right. It starts off like any normal relationship talk, but trust me, this one takes a turn you won't see coming.
This kind of conversation can be tricky, especially when emotions are running high. And for English learners, it might be hard to catch all the nuances.
Yeah, but don't worry. We'll break it all down for you after the dialogue.
All right, now let's listen to today's dialogue for the first time, and then we'll come back.
Can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
Whoa, that was intense.
Yeah, I was expecting a regular relationship talk, but then a gun.
At first, she just wanted to know where their relationship was heading, but instead of giving a clear answer, he responded with, "You're awesome," which wasn't what she was looking for. And then, things escalated quickly.
Right, and the guy was being a little vague at first. Instead of saying, "I love you," he just said, "You're awesome."
Yeah, that definitely wasn't the right thing to say at that moment.
Not at all. And you could feel the frustration building up. Then, when he finally said, "I love you," it seemed like everything was okay.
Exactly. That's when we got the biggest surprise. Put the gun down.
That moment really changed everything.
Exactly. All right, now let's go over some of the key phrases from this conversation.
All right, today's first phrase is, "You know what I mean."
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean. This phrase is used when you think the other person understands what you're trying to say, even if you haven't been completely clear.
Right. It's often said when someone is being vague but wants to imply something without spelling it out. This phrase is also similar to, "You see what I'm getting at here?" which is used when you want to check if the other person understands the point you're trying to make.
Exactly. For example, if someone says, "I don't really like my job, you know what I mean?" they might be hinting at wanting to quit.
Exactly. It's a phrase that helps nudge the listener to read between the lines.
Right. All right. The next phrase is, "I'm in love with you."
I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you.
Emily, is "I'm in love with you" different from "I love you"?
Good question, James. "I love you" can be used in many situations, like with family, friends, or a romantic partner. But "I'm in love with you" is much more specific. It means deep, romantic feelings.
Right. Saying "I'm in love with you" expresses passion and strong romantic attachment, while "I love you" can sometimes be more general.
That's why in the dialogue, the woman says, "I'm in love with you." She wants to make it clear that she has deep romantic feelings, not just general affection.
Right. But he didn't give her the answer she was hoping for.
Exactly. All right, now let's take a look at, "I guess that's my answer, isn't it?"
I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
This phrase might seem simple, but it has a deeper meaning that can be tricky for English learners.
Yeah, The key here is that she isn't given a direct answer, but she realizes the truth from what was said, or rather, what wasn't said.
Right. She asks about their relationship, but instead of saying, I love you, the man only says, you're awesome. That's not the answer she was hoping for.
So, in this case, when she says, I guess that's my answer, isn't it? She's realizing, oh, so that's how it is. He doesn't really love me.
It's a way of accepting the truth without the other person actually saying it. A good way to translate this idea into simple English would be, oh, so that's how it is.
Exactly. It's a useful phrase when you realize something based on context rather than a direct answer.
Great. Now let's listen to the dialogue again and see if you can catch them in context.
Can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
Listening to it again, I noticed how much tension was building up.
Yeah, even before the gun part, you could sense the tension in the conversation.
Right. And the way he tried to avoid answering directly definitely made things worse.
And that's such a real-life thing, right? Sometimes people avoid direct answers because they don't want to hurt the other person.
But in this case, it just made things escalate even more.
Exactly. All right, let's jump into the second half of our key phrases.
All right, let's move on to the phrase, it's not a thing, all right?
It's not a thing, all right?
It's not a thing, all right?
This phrase is a casual way of saying, it's not a big deal, or it doesn't matter. It's often used when someone wants to downplay a situation or make it seem less important.
Right. In this dialogue, the woman is trying to act like it's not a big deal if the man doesn't love her. But we can tell from the context that she actually does care.
Exactly. It's like saying, I'm pretending this doesn't matter, but deep down, it really does.
Maybe he realized how she was really feeling, which is why he finally said, I love you so much.
Yeah, maybe. All right. The next phrase is, we've had our laughs.
We've had our laughs.
We've had our laughs means we've had fun together, or we've shared good times. It's often used when looking back on a relationship or a period of time fondly. It's a phrase that, when translated literally, can be difficult to understand.
Right. But in this context, the woman says it with a bittersweet tone. She's acknowledging that they've had fun, but now things might be coming to an end.
Exactly. It's like saying, well, we had some good times, but that's not enough to keep this going.
Exactly. All right. Today's last phrase is, I don't appreciate.
I don't appreciate.
I don't appreciate. Normally, appreciate means to be thankful for something. But in this phrase, I don't appreciate means I don't like or I don't approve of.
Right. In the dialogue, the woman starts to say, I don't appreciate, but she doesn't finish the sentence. That means she was going to complain about something but stopped herself.
So what was she going to say? Based on the context, she was probably about to say something like, I don't appreciate being led on, or I don't appreciate you avoiding my question.
Exactly. She realizes there's no point in arguing anymore, so she just trails off and changes the subject.
It's a great example of how unfinished sentences can add emotional depth to a conversation.
Perfect. Now we've covered all the key phrases from the dialogue. Why don't we listen to the dialogue one last time?
can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
You know, today's dialogue made me think about how men and women often communicate differently in relationships.
Yeah, definitely. In general, women tend to be more emotional when talking about love, while men often try to stay logical and composed.
Right? But the problem is, when one person is speaking with a lot of emotions and the other is trying to be calm and rational, it can feel like they're not really hearing each other. Sometimes this can lead to misunderstandings or even bigger conflicts because both sides feel frustrated.
Exactly. It's like when a woman expresses her feelings deeply, she might want emotional support, but if the man just gives a logical response, it can feel cold.
Yeah, and in different cultures, this plays out differently. In Western movies or dramas, we often see women getting very emotional and expressive when they argue about relationships.
Right. But in Japan, it's a bit different. Japanese women don't usually scream or get extremely emotional in those moments. Instead, they tend to quietly shed tears, which can be even more powerful.
That's a really interesting point, and it shows how important it is to understand cultural differences in communication, especially in relationships.
Yeah, love and emotions are universal, but the way we express them can be so different across cultures.
So true. Listeners, have you ever experienced a cultural difference in the way emotions are expressed in relationships? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know in the comments or send us a message.
And remember, communication is key in any relationship.
Absolutely. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
We'll be back soon with another real-life English conversation.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
Take care, guys. See you next time.
Bye.